Yes, welcome back. Poppy, I had no idea you were such a good cook.
Well, I am a very good cook, but I'd rather have food cooked for me. You know, Giovanni's, and I say this with all sincerity, I lived at Oakbank for 8 years, so Giovanni's was a bit of a local spot for me. They've got the most beautiful pizza, most beautiful pasta. It's a really good location. It's better than anything you come across in the city.
How long were you there?
I was supposed to be there 30 minutes. I think I stayed 2.5 hours.
Okay. And 7 years, that was your...
Oh, I'm sorry, at Oakbank. Yeah, 7 years at Oakbank. That was my regular spot.
7 years, and I don't recall being asked once.
No.
Any chance you could meet me at Giovanni's for a meal, mate?
No,
Not one time. All right, let's get on to this. South Australia, I reckon they've had a terrific year this year with the cricket. Jamie Sidney's Timmy Nielsen done a fantastic job. Got them into the final of the Sheffield Shield. Of course, they lost to Victoria by 7 wickets. But I want to ask you this. The coach gets the ball, rubs it in a little bit. I don't know what Coach Lewis was thinking. Throws it in. Then he's hit with a just over $2,000 fine. Pathetic.
Well, it is pathetic.
What deterrent is that?
Well, there's no deterrent. It throws a bad light on what was a good win by Victoria against the odds, and it tarnishes the whole image of the game beyond these two sides. So it's done more harm than good for Victoria. It's done more harm than good for the game, and you know, it's just disappointing. I think if he had his time again, it obviously wouldn't be done. But what intrigues me most is why it was done in the first place. I mean, that little scratch on the concrete of the ball, is it going to make that much of a difference? And are you prepared to cheat to win? That's disappointing.
I'm a little bit with you. I'm wondering what the thought process is to do it, because he doesn't strike me as that kind of guy.
No.
So, and he's, you know, the players love him. You kind of go, why would he do it? So
but a fine, okay, it's one thing to get a fine, $2,000 fine. Okay,
weak.
has no effect on the game.
Weak.
But when it comes to the game, is that small scratch of the ball worth just 5 runs? That to me seems minimal. To me seems absolutely minimal. Look, I don't get it, but I think they've got it wrong. I think he got it wrong, and I think the resultant penalty has been wrong as well.
All right, let's go with that. The first one we know is wrong, and he knows he did the wrong thing. And we're not directing it just at him. I think anyone that does it, there has to be a deterrent. $2,000 is not a deterrent. No. So I'm saying, let's fine him $100,000.
Wow, geez, you go straight for the jugular.
Well, absolutely, and he has to pay it. It can't come from Victoria.
You can tell a bloke that's got a lot of money because he starts to talk in big figures.
No, I'm saying if we're going to be serious about deterrents, be it drugs in sport, whatever it is, then be fair dinkum. Don't put, we'll give him a token $2,000 fine. Seriously, if you were fined $2,000, other than the ethical side of not doing it again, would you do it again? If you thought it could help your team win, look, I'm going to wear a bit, but I'm only going to get fined $2,000.
I would like to think that I wouldn't do it under any circumstances, but I get your point. The deterrent doesn't fit the crime. You know, the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I don't think. Look, I get it. You're absolutely right. But cheating is cheating, and he's deliberately. I mean, he wasn't suffering from any mental disorder, I don't think. So to me, there needs to be more done.
Okay, anyway, so cheating's cheating, and for cheating you get fined $2,000. And it had an impact in the game.
Yeah,
we're sitting here talking about it instead of saying, what a terrific win by Victoria. What a great effort by South Australian Redbacks to get into the final. We're focused on that because it's cheating.
And, you know...
and for that, $2,000 fine.
And post the result, you know, in all forms of media, it has all been about that. So it's done...
Again, it's not just deterring him from doing it, it's the impact it has down the line, because I'm a coach and I'm coaching A-grade cricket and Edwardstown are playing Kensington. I'm going, gee, for a $2,000 fine, it's worth a scratch because we could win it. You know, if I've gone to the level, I'm not worried about cheating. But if suddenly I thought, you know, if I do that, A, it's ethically wrong, B, I'm going to get fined $100,000. Here's the ball back.
But you know,
or I'm going to get suspended and never coach again.
But if you draw that parallel to the Olympic Games, I mean, people are still risking cheating to win. I think it's just a part of sport. In fact, you know what? It's not a part of sport. It's a part of a person's character. And I think that's the most disappointing thing.
Yeah, well, you're trying to find an edge. The trouble is it's an illegal edge. It's an illegal edge.
Yeah, but the edge is, I think the edge is inability. I think that cheating... If you're willing to cheat, I think that's beyond an edge, a sportsman's edge. That's a personal deficiency. And so...
Well, Sharapova got caught for cheating. So as far as I'm concerned, she can't play anymore. You know, it's not, oh, well, you know, she's good looking, she's worth millions, all that stuff. You cheated.
Yeah, well, I'd give Sharapova one more chance, but I mean, I'm biased.
I want to talk about the Showdown 40 coming up, of course, this weekend.
Showdown 40, do you know?
Showdown 40,
do you know that I took my former wife to Showdown 1? We weren't
Yep.
We weren't engaged, we weren't married. But Showdown 1, I took her to. I think we lasted to Showdown 28. So it was a good... We were married for 28 Showdowns.
Solid innings.
But we've been separated for 12 Showdowns.
Yep.
Yeah, Showdown 40
Showdown
this week.
40. All right, I want to ask you a couple of things about the Showdown. So they say a week is a long time in footy, or a week's a long time in sport. We've had our first week of AFL.
Yes.
They're already talking Dangerfield for the Brownlow, Geelong to win the premiership.
Yeah.
Really, 1 week in, what's the term you think as a tipster about what period into the season do you start to get a feel for where you think your team may place?
Well, you know, you have to have a good look at all opposition, because let's face it, there were some upsets in round one.
Freo,
Footscray
Collingwood.
touching up Freo, Melbourne having a win.
Footscray.
You know,
Footscray.
Well, yeah, I'm traditional.
Footscray, eh?
Based in Sunshine and Teddy Whitten Oval. But, you know, they surprised me. I think as much as they surprised me last year, they surprised me what they did to a quality side like Fremantle. All of a sudden, there's a question mark over Fremantle. Yeah. There's glowing reports about the Bulldogs. But, yeah, a week is a long time, but it's nowhere near enough to start talking premierships or start talking Brownlows.
All right, so we can't get any gauge on the first week that the Crows lost and, of course, the Power won. So there's really nothing in that. All right, what about 9 months? If we wind the clock back 9 months, of course, we have the emotion. And I want to talk about that in a minute. Phil Walsh game. Yeah. Showdown 39.
Plenty of emotion.
Of course, the Crows win that one.
Yeah.
Can we take anything from that?
Well, no.
No.
It's a different season. It's a different club. It's a different look. It's a different feel. There's different coaches, different personnel. No, you can't.
All right, so I want to ask you about the emotive side.
But mind you, Phil, and you'd be aware of this, isn't it amazing that some clubs will have an edge on other clubs for no apparent reason? I'm sure in basketball you probably had it. They were boogie sides for you.
Style of game.
A style of game, and it didn't really worry about personnel. It could be location. It could be you just didn't play well at this location. It didn't matter what the personnel was. There are those teams as well.
Oh, no question. You would not believe the number of AFL coaches that I speak to over the course of a year, going back into last year, that want to know why their team lost to a lower ranked team.
Yeah.
So they're ringing saying, from a coaching standpoint, what is it? Generally, it's the style of game. It's just an unsettling style against yours. It's no more than that. And then you try and read too much into it, and it doesn't matter. But saying that, they're saying last year's showdown, because of the Phil Walsh scenario, was the best showdown ever. Because it had the emotion, it had both teams going at it, it was a tight game. Showdown 40 is going to have some emotion around it. You talk to the players and they're all saying they're up for it. Why is the showdown, it's one game, what makes it so emotional?
Look, you know, I think it's one of those rare games for South Australia where tribalism is front and centre.
So it's bragging rights.
Well, we don't see it much in footy these days at all because the home side forms 90% of the crowd, so you don't get that banter. I think these showdowns, it's even between both teams now, even though it's a home game for one. That raw emotion / tribalism is what we love, and that stadium will come alive. And I don't think there's been a bad showdown. Showdown 1 will always go down in memory in my eyes because of the great win by Port Adelaide against the odds. But, you know, I look forward to this showdown just as much as I look forward to the first one.
It's an interesting one, isn't it? Because what you said against the odds, traditionally the team that's having a poor season finishes up winning the showdown.
Yes.
And the other team goes on. We don't know that yet because we're 2 weeks into the season. Who's good or who's bad. The Phil Walsh medal, of course, went to Scotty Thompson last year.
Yes.
Both parties couldn't come to an agreement on the name remaining, the Phil Walsh medal for the showdown. How do you feel about it?
Look, I'm probably split on it, and I hate sitting on the fence, but I can see both sides of it. I don't think if you're not going to name it for anyone, then you shouldn't have named it in Phil Walsh, full stop. To me, it makes Port Adelaide look a bit cold. To me.
Yep. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
It's a tough one. I don't think...
It's not a win either way.
No, there's not. I don't know. I don't know.
All right, I'll say this because Walshy was a good mate of mine. Walshy wouldn't want it. He would not want a best on ground.
There's your answer.
And I think that's the part that's got lost in this. Knowing Walshy, he's happy with the best team man because he was always team orientated. So an individual award wasn't something that he would have wanted his name on. Of course, he's got that with the Crows Best Team Man Award. The AFL Coaches Association have got a scholarship that's set up every year for a young coach to help him develop. They're the two things that would appeal to him. If you said, which ones do you want out of those three, he would have dropped the showdown medal in a second.
You asked me the question, knowing the answer.
I just want to get a feel from most people, though, that don't know Walshy.
I think everyone read it and thought, why wouldn't you do that, Port Adelaide? But then you scratch a bit deeper and you go, OK, I sort of get it. And so that's hence the reason I sit on the fence. Your explanation, to tell you the truth, is perfect. I get it.
The SANFL started on the weekend, of course. The Crows had a massive win over last year's premiers.
And I'll tell you why. This is the reason why, and this is the reason why Port Adelaide and the Crows are going to be so dangerous. They've reduced interchanges down to 60. Means people spend more time in the field, means fitness is a key factor now, which means that those with an AFL-based fitness against an SANFL fitness have a decided advantage. Crows and Port expect them to do big things if they stay sound this year.
All right, they're trialling it in the SANFL. Of course, prior to that, it was players spread out amongst the clubs.
Yep.
Which was the better formula?
I think we need to persevere with what we've got. I think there's some merit in it, and I think it eventually will lift the standard for all other SANFL clubs to climb to. I think that's the way to go.
All right, we need to nearly wrap up the show, Poppy. Before we go, your tip?
Well, I need to do a few things. I need to give you my tips this week. I think the Crows will bounce back with a win. I need to let our audience know too that if you like us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, if you want to get involved in any social media and also our footy tipping, please join us, because this week I swear, I will get 9 out of 9 round 2.
Yeah, that's only because you're dirty on the cameraman that's winning at the moment. We need to finish up. Thanks for joining us. Hope you'll join us again next week. Bye, everybody.